So what'd you find?
We think we have an entrance to something here.
And it's just got these big blocks in front of it?
Yeah, it's been sealed up.
Is that a tomb? What is that?
I mean, why do we have to wonder?
We should go down and see. Let's find out.
Are they graves, do you think?
I think they could be graves.
Oh, they're all partitioned off. Look at that.
For centuries, Petra has guarded its secrets behind towering cliffs and ancient stone walls. But what happens when archaeologists finally open a room that was deliberately sealed and forgotten? Imagine standing in total silence as a hidden chamber, untouched for generations, is unlocked for the very first time. No one knew exactly what waited inside. Some expected treasure. Others hoped for clues about Petra's mysterious past. What they discovered instead left experts stunned and raised questions that still don't have clear answers. As dust filled the air and the darkness of the chamber was exposed to light for the first time in centuries, the team realized they were looking at something far more disturbing than anyone had anticipated. The discovery revealed a hidden story buried deep beneath one of the world's most famous ancient cities, a story that challenges what we thought we knew about the people who once lived there. Today, we're taking you inside this incredible discovery, exploring the sealed room, the shocking objects found within it, and the horrifying truth that has captured the attention of archaeologists around the world. Trust me, what you're about to see is far stranger than fiction. Before we uncover what was hiding behind that sealed door, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next amazing discovery. Petra, the rose-red city that still guards ancient secrets. Deep within the desert mountains of Jordan lies Petra, one of the most extraordinary places ever built by human hands. Carved directly into colorful sandstone cliffs more than 2,000 years ago, this ancient city continues to amaze visitors from around the world. Yet behind its beauty lies a mystery that historians and archaeologists are still trying to understand. Petra was created by the Nabateans, an ancient Arab civilization that rose from humble beginnings to become a powerful trading empire. At a time when vast deserts separated kingdoms, they controlled important caravan routes that carried valuable goods such as spices, incense, silk, and precious materials. Their success brought enormous wealth, allowing them to build impressive temples, monuments, and an entire city carved into stone. What makes the Nabateans so fascinating is that much of their story remains unclear. Historians still debate their origins and how they developed such advanced knowledge. They seem to emerge from history almost without warning, leaving behind remarkable achievements that continue to puzzle experts. They mastered desert survival, engineered sophisticated water systems, and created structures that have survived for centuries. The most famous way into Petra is through the Seek, a narrow canyon lined with towering rock walls. As visitors walk through its winding passage, the cliffs block the view ahead, creating a sense of anticipation. Then, suddenly, the canyon opens, revealing the treasury in all its glory. For many people, that first glimpse is unforgettable. Rising from the rock face like a giant stone palace, the treasury appears almost unreal. Every column, carving, and decorative detail was shaped directly into the cliff. Even today, many visitors struggle to imagine how ancient craftsmen achieved such precision using simple tools. The monument has inspired stories for generations. Local legends claim that a hidden fortune was concealed inside the large stone urn carved near the top of the structure. Some treasure hunters believe the urn contained gold and reportedly fired at it in hopes of breaking it open. Despite these efforts, no treasure was ever discovered. In fact, researchers still disagree about the building's original purpose. Some believe it was a royal tomb, while others think it played a ceremonial or religious role. There's also the possibility that its function changed over time. Whatever its purpose, the treasury remains one of Petra's greatest mysteries. Across the surrounding cliffs are hundreds of tombs, chambers, and monumental facades. Because burial sites appear throughout the area, scholars often describe Petra as a vast necropolis. Yet the treasury stands apart from the rest. Its prominent position, grand design, and exceptional craftsmanship suggest it held unusual significance within the city. For decades, many researchers suspected there was more to Petra than what could be seen above ground. Stories circulated about hidden spaces concealed beneath the surface. Some locals spoke of strange hollow sounds coming from areas near the treasury, while others shared tales of sealed passages lost to time. Although no proof existed, these rumors kept curiosity alive. Then everything changed. Evidence began to suggest that an undiscovered chamber might be hidden beneath Petra's most famous monument. Suddenly, a mystery that had survived for centuries seemed closer to being solved. The discovery sparked a flood of questions. What was concealed below? Why had it been sealed away? Was it a burial chamber, a sacred site, or something no one expected to find? The permission that changed everything. For decades, the ground in front of Petra's treasury was considered off-limits. This area, known as a forecourt, is one of the most visited parts of the ancient city. Every day, travelers gather there to admire the monument, listen to guides, and take in the breathtaking view. Because of its importance, authorities were extremely protective of the site. The idea of excavating beneath it seemed almost unthinkable. Yet many archaeologists believed the forecourt could hold answers to some of Petra's greatest mysteries. Over the years, research teams repeatedly submitted requests to investigate the area. They presented detailed plans and explained how new technology could reduce risks. Despite their efforts, permission was consistently denied. The hesitation was easy to understand. The treasury is not just an archaeological wonder, it is one of Jordan's most valuable historical landmarks. Any damage, no matter how small, could have serious consequences. Officials worry that excavation work might affect the stability of the monument or leave permanent marks on a structure that has survived for centuries. As research methods advanced, archaeologists continued making their case. Modern equipment offered ways to explore ancient sites with far greater precision than in the past. Experts argue that careful investigation could uncover important information while keeping the monument protected. Still, authorities remain cautious, unwilling to approve work near such a treasure landmark. Then, in 2024, a major turning point arrived. After years of discussions and reviews, Jordan's Department of Antiquities approved a limited archaeological investigation near the treasury. The decision marked a historic moment for researchers who had spent years waiting for an opportunity like this. The approval came with strict conditions. Every step had to focus on preservation first. Areas that were open would need to be restored afterward, leaving the site looking unchanged. Detailed records were required throughout the process so that every layer, object, and observation could be carefully documented. Nothing would be rushed. Several organizations joined the project, bringing together specialists in archaeology, conservation, technology, and site management. By combining their experience and resources, they created a plan designed to balance discovery with protection. Even with these safeguards, concerns remained. Some experts feared that hidden weaknesses beneath the surface could create unexpected challenges. Others questioned whether disturbing a place that had remained untouched for so long was worth the risk. Local stories and old legends only added to the sense of uncertainty surrounding the project. Because of this, the team decided on a cautious approach. Before any soil was removed, they needed a clearer picture of what lay below. Digging without evidence was not an option. Their first step would be to use advanced scanning technology capable of looking beneath the surface and revealing hidden features without causing damage. Only then could they decide how to move forward in their search for Petra's buried secrets. Anomaly C, the discovery no one expected. After receiving approval to investigate the area near Petra's treasury, the archaeological team knew they had to proceed with extreme caution. Digging without understanding what lay underground was simply not an option. The monument was too valuable and too fragile. Before a single shovel touched the soil, researchers turned to advanced scanning technology capable of looking beneath the surface without causing damage. A range of scientific tools was used during the survey. Ground-penetrating radar sent signals into the earth and tracked their return patterns. Electrical resistance testing helped identify buried spaces and solid structures. Magnetic surveys search for subtle disturbances that often indicate ancient human activity. Together, these methods allowed researchers to examine the hidden landscape beneath the treasury without disturbing it. For days, the results appeared routine. The scans revealed familiar features, including ancient drainage channels designed by the Nabateans to protect the monument from flooding. Natural fractures within the sandstone also appeared exactly where researchers expected them. Everything seemed to confirm what was already known about the site. Then a strange shape appeared. Unlike the other readings, this feature immediately caught the team's attention. It had straight edges, clear boundaries, and a geometric form rarely produced by nature. Instead of resembling a crack, tunnel, or natural cavity, it looked as though someone had deliberately created it long ago. The researchers initially questioned the result. Equipment can sometimes produce misleading images, especially when scanning through layers of rock and soil. To be certain, they repeated the survey from multiple positions and compared the data. Each test pointed to the same conclusion. The feature was real. As more information was gathered, excitement quickly spread through the project. The structure appeared larger than anyone had anticipated and was located beneath an area that had never been fully explored. Even more intriguing, it did not resemble any previously documented feature associated with the treasury. In official reports, the mysterious target received a simple technical name, Anomaly C. But among the team, another nickname soon emerged, the Locked Chamber. The name reflected a growing belief that this was not an ordinary underground space. The scan suggested a carefully enclosed area, hidden away and isolated from the surrounding ground. Naturally, theories began to circulate. Some researchers suspected it could be an undiscovered burial chamber connected to Petra's most important figures. Others wondered whether it formed part of an ancient ceremonial complex. Local stories added another layer of intrigue, with long-standing tales describing sealed spaces and forgotten chambers concealed beneath the city. At this stage, nobody had answers. The technology had revealed a mystery, but not its purpose. What was clear was that something significant rested beneath the treasury. To uncover the truth, archaeologists would need to move forward carefully, removing the soil piece by piece while approaching a place that had remained hidden for centuries. Breaking the seal, the chamber beneath the treasury. Once excavation began near Petra's treasury, the project entered a completely different phase. Researchers were no longer studying computer scans or reviewing data on screens. For the first time, they were physically approaching the hidden structure buried beneath the ancient monument. From the beginning, the team worked with extraordinary caution. The treasury is one of the most valuable archaeological landmarks in the world, so every action had to be carefully planned. As the dig moved closer to the target area, large excavation tools were abandoned. Instead, archaeologists relied on brushes, wooden picks, and small hand instruments designed for delicate work. Progress was slow but deliberate. Thin layers of soil were removed one at a time, allowing researchers to examine every detail before moving deeper. Nothing was ignored. Tiny pottery fragments, traces of charcoal, and small pieces of stone were all documented and preserved. The goal was not speed, it was accuracy. With each passing day, the ground became more compact. The deeper layers had been compressed by centuries of weight, making excavation increasingly challenging. Then, after weeks of careful work, the first unmistakable sign of human construction appeared. Stone steps began to emerge from the earth. The staircase descended below the surface, leading toward a space that had remained hidden for generations. Shortly afterward, smooth stone walls became visible on either side. Their appearance left little doubt that this was a deliberately built structure rather than a natural formation. What caught the team's attention most was the quality of the construction. The stone blocks had been cut with remarkable precision and fitted together so closely that very few gaps were visible. The craftsmanship reflected careful planning and considerable effort. Whoever built this place clearly intended it to endure. As more of the structure was exposed, archaeologists noticed something even more intriguing. The entrance appeared to have been intentionally closed. It did not look as though time or nature had buried it. Instead, it seemed as if someone had deliberately concealed it from future generations. This realization transformed the discovery from an interesting find into a genuine mystery. Why was the chamber hidden? What purpose did it serve? Why had so much effort been invested in keeping it out of sight? Eventually, the sealed section began to give way. As the opening widened, air that had been trapped for centuries drifted outward. The scent of dry dust filled the excavation trench, creating a powerful reminder how long this space had remained untouched. Excitement spread throughout the site. Some researchers believed they were approaching an undiscovered tomb connected to Petra's ruling class. Others suggested it could be part of a ceremonial complex or an important underground structure whose purpose had been lost to history. At that stage, nobody knew the answer. The only certainty was that the hidden space beneath the treasury was real. What began as an unusual reading on a scan had become a physical discovery. And as archaeologists prepared to enter the darkness below, they understood they were about to step into a place that few, if any, people had seen since the days of the Nabateans. The tomb beneath Petra's greatest monument. Once archaeologists confirmed the chamber was stable, they carefully entered the underground space. Powerful lights revealed a scene that no one had witnessed for nearly 2,000 years. Instead of a natural cavity carved by erosion, they found a purpose-built burial chamber created with remarkable skill and planning. The interior immediately caught their attention. Along the walls were small carved niches arranged in an orderly pattern. Similar features have been discovered in other Nabatean burial sites and were often associated with ceremonial practices. Their presence showed that this was an important funerary space, designed according to specific traditions rather than created for a temporary purpose. Then the team made a discovery that stopped everyone in their tracks. Human remains began to emerge from the shadows. The first skeleton lay exactly as it had been placed centuries earlier. The bones remained connected and undisturbed, preserving the original burial position. Nearby, another individual rested in a similar arrangement. As the chamber was explored further, more burials came into view. In total, researchers identified at least 12 individuals inside the tomb. The remains included both adults and children. What made the find especially striking was the careful placement of every burial. There was no sign of panic, disorder, or hurried disposal. Each person appeared to have been laid to rest with intention and respect. Some occupied separate spaces, while others rested close together, possibly reflecting family bonds or social connections. The tomb also contained a variety of objects placed near the deceased. Ceramic bowls, storage jars, and personal belongings were found beside several burials. Small traces of metal suggested that decorative items or accessories had once accompanied some of the individuals. In one case, a vessel had been positioned so precisely beside a body that it appeared to be part of a carefully planned ritual. Although these objects were modest in appearance, they carried clear meaning. The focus was not on displaying wealth, but on honoring the dead through customs and traditions that were important to Nabatean society. What impressed researchers most was the extraordinary state of preservation. Many ancient tombs throughout Petra had been damaged by floods, weathering, or ancient grave robbers. This chamber escaped those fates. Because it remained sealed for centuries, much of its original condition survived. The layout remained intact, the burials stayed in place, and the atmosphere felt untouched by the outside world. For the archaeological team, entering the tomb felt less like making a discovery and more like stepping directly into the past. Every detail was carefully documented. Specialists mapped the position of each burial, photographed artifacts, and preserved fragile materials for future study. Yet as the investigation continued, a new realization began to take shape. The tomb itself was extraordinary, but evidence suggested it might not be the final secret hidden beneath the treasury. The sealed room in Petra's darkest mystery. When archaeologists finally opened the second hidden chamber, a wave of stale air drifted out from a space that had been closed for centuries. The atmosphere felt heavy, and researchers immediately used protective equipment before entering. Whatever waited inside had remained untouched since the days of the Nabateans. As powerful light swept across the room, the team noticed something unusual. Parts of the walls were darkened with soot-like stains, suggesting that fire or intense heat had once been present. This alone was surprising, but the floor revealed an even greater mystery. The chamber looked nothing like the tomb discovered earlier. In the first burial room, individuals had been laid to rest with care and clear purpose. The scene was far more complicated. Human remains were concentrated throughout the space in ways that immediately caught the attention of researchers. Instead of a carefully organized arrangement, many skeletons appeared grouped together, creating a striking contrast with the orderly burials found above. Detailed examination revealed additional clues. Several skeletons showed signs of serious injuries. Some skulls displayed fractures, while other bones carried evidence of significant trauma. These findings raised difficult questions about the circumstances surrounding their deaths. Were these injuries caused by conflict, a disaster, or something else entirely? At this stage, no one could say with certainty. Among the remains were both adults and children. This discovery suggested that the chamber was connected to a larger event involving multiple members of a community rather than a single individual or family. For the researchers standing inside the room, it was a powerful reminder that each set of bones represented a real person whose story had been lost to history. The mystery deepened when archaeologists uncovered a small group of burials that appeared different from the rest. One individual was accompanied by traces of decorative metal objects and higher quality items. Nearby remains did not show the same treatment. This difference hinted at social distinctions that may have existed even in death. Ceramic vessels found throughout the chamber added another layer to the puzzle. Some still contained traces of ancient organic material. Scientists collected samples for testing, hoping they might reveal information about rituals, funerary customs, or events connected to the people buried there. As the evidence was studied, multiple explanations emerged. Some specialists suggested the chamber may have been used during a period of crisis, such as disease, warfare, or political upheaval. Others proposed that the space served different purposes across different generations, which could explain why the burials appeared so different from one another. What fascinated researchers most was the contrast between the two hidden chambers. One reflected ceremony, planning, and tradition. The other seemed to preserve the memory of a far more turbulent moment. Together, they painted a picture of society that was far more complex than previously understood. Yet the biggest mystery remained unanswered. No inscriptions were found explaining who these people were. No records described why the chamber was sealed. No message was left behind for future generations. Someone intentionally closed this room and allowed it to disappear from memory. That decision may be the most important clue of all. Whatever happened inside this chamber was significant enough to preserve, conceal, and leave untouched beneath Petra's most famous monument, where it remained hidden for nearly 2,000 years. Petra has always been a place of breathtaking beauty, a city carved in rose-red stone that has stood for over 2,000 years. But beneath that beauty, the earth tells a different story. The sealed chamber beneath the treasury did not just reveal bones. It revealed a choice. Someone, nearly 2,000 years ago, decided that what happened in that room would never be seen, never be spoken of, and never be remembered. They stacked stone to silence the truth. And for almost 2 millennia, it worked. But the ground keeps records that no ruler can erase. The treasury still stands, as grand and as silent as it has always been. Yet its story is no longer only written on its walls. Part of it is written underground, among the dead who were never supposed to be found. Some secrets are buried because they are dangerous, and some, it seems, are sealed in stone, waiting for the light.